Contra Hardcore was released on the Sega Genesis in 1994 and is of course part of the long-running Contra series. It is a sequel to Contra 3: The Alien Wars for the Super Nintendo and takes place about 5 years after the events of that game. Some terrorists are after an alien cell that was recovered from the Alien Wars, and it's up to a squad of 4 commandos known as the Hardcore to stop them and save the world from possible annihilation. The game's premise is simple, but the action and gameplay are insanely fast-paced and exciting. This is, in my opinion, one of the most overlooked titles in the series, and with its branching paths leading to different sets of stages, 5 different endings, and 4 different characters to choose from that have completely different weapons and playstyles, Hardcore has so much replay value that it's kinda crazy. Contra Hardcore takes the already breakneck speed of the previous games and turns it up to 11. It uses the Genesis' ability to have extremely fast gameplay without sacrificing frame rate wonderfully. So much so that in addition to being able to jump and shoot, the characters can now do a slide, much like another Konami classic, Sunset Riders. And it is a crucial method in getting past some of the obstacles faced without dying. This is a wonderful mechanic to add in the game, and it makes a lot of the fights not only easier, but looks really badass once this has been mastered. And even though Hardcore is difficult, I think it's a bit easier than people might think at first glance. The fact that the player is only given 5 continues is kind of punishing, but after some practice and learning all the boss patterns from replaying the stages, it really isn't so bad. I had so much fun with the game that I didn't really even care, I just wanted to get better at it. Don't get me wrong though, it is a difficult game for sure, but nowhere near impossible. Each of the 4 characters in the game have slightly different playstyles and 4 unique weapons. Ray is your typical Contra commando, and is very well balanced and easy to use. Sheena is a lot like Ray, and is who I used to beat the game the first time. Brad Fang is a sunglasses-equipped Wolfman, and that alone makes him a character worth playing. It doesn't hurt that he can sport a flamethrower too. Brownie is a half-pint-sized robot that can double jump and is much easier to beat the game with. Brownie is a great tool for people who are just getting used to the game, but remember that the other characters aren't as small and can only jump once, so when you switch to them, things will feel a lot different. The different weapons that the characters can use in their loadout can be obtained while traversing the stages and will take up respective slots in the character's inventory. There are 4 in total, and they can be switched to on the fly quickly. Bombs can also be picked up that makes a screen-wide explosion when used. I'm so happy with this whole system because it adds a lot of variety on how you want to play the game and lets you keep far more weapons at once than in the previous titles, and I'm a big fan of variety. The graphics are really detailed, with parts of the background even being animated for added flair. These things might not even be noticed the first few times you go through the game, however, because everything is moving at such a brisk clip that it's easy to miss. When enemies are killed, the game straight up turns into a Michael Bay film because everything explodes. There are explosions everywhere. So much so at first that it might be quite distracting, but I guess the developers were just showing off how much crazy shit they could do with the Genesis and not have any slowdown. The only issue I have with this game is that I could see it making some people's eyes almost bleed with the speed and the amount of things that are going on at one time. The game is so much fun though that it isn't really a problem, honestly. The bosses are huge and well animated, with lots of different attack patterns and forms, and the sheer amount of different ones is awesome. To be honest, this game is mostly just boss fights, even some secret ones. I was lucky enough to grab a copy of this complete in box for about $50, and it looks like carts can still be picked up on eBay for close to $40. There's also a pretty cool repro version for purchase called Contra Hardcore Enhanced that adds a health bar and unlimited continues to the North American version of the game. The health bar and unlimited continues was originally only in the Japanese version, but the Japanese version is currently pretty damn expensive, so if you want to play the game with these additions, I recommend the repro version. It also adds the ability to play with the same character as your friend if you're playing co-op. I think this game doesn't get the love and attention that it deserves, and more people need to play this badass entry in the amazing Contra series. It even has a prequel called Hardcore Uprising that was released on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 back in 2011, and the main character of that game is actually in Contra Hardcore. Uprising is another amazing entry that doesn't get enough love, but I'll save that for another video. So would I recommend Contra Hardcore? Well, if you're a Contra fan and like a good challenge, then hell yeah. With its extreme fast-paced choice of characters and branching paths that lead to tons of different stages and bosses, as well as endings, there's a ton of value in this title. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications when my new videos are released. And I'll see you next time.